gasoline I smell?
So, in February, the first trailer for Elvis came out, and at the time I knew who Elvis was, obviously, but I would never consider myself a fan of Elvis. But after I saw that trailer, I was like, well, this movie looks interesting, and I'm really interested to listen to some Elvis music. And I did, and 4 months later, I am an Elvis fan now, and also the movie came out. So today I saw the movie and I'm doing a review for Elvis. Let's get into the review. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing amazing as always, and it's me as always. And today I got a review for Elvis, and wow, this movie is so good. Like, really good. Now, let's get into the story of this movie.
Who the hell is that?
Elvis Presley.
The story of this movie is essentially told through the eyes of Colonel Tom Parker, portrayed wonderfully by Tom Hanks. And I mean, Tom Hanks is an absolute legend of an actor. He's wonderful in everything, and here he just shows how good of an actor he is. He has a lot of prosthetics, a lot of makeup on, so he looks fat, he looks like, an ugly goblin, because Parker was an evil person, like, without a doubt. And so Hanks totally got that right, and wow, he's so great in this movie. But we essentially see the story of this movie through Parker's eyes, because he's sort of framing the story for us. He's saying, Elvis did this, Elvis did that, and, then the scenes play out. So it's really great. And what I liked about that is that we haven't seen a lot of Parker in Elvis's documentaries or movies, So seeing Parker being a full-blown character portrayed by Tom Hanks, I mean, that was a wonderful choice. That was really good. Also, this movie essentially shows us the whole Elvis's life. Okay, so we see him as a kid. We see him when he's in his 20s, 30s, and then obviously early 40s before he died. And oh my God, the last third of this movie is absolutely tragic, because we see Elvis, he's sick, he's essentially dying, like, let's be honest, he was dying, and it's tragic, really, because you remember that you just saw Elvis being happy, and then this, like, the last 30 to 40 minutes is heartbreaking and sad, and it was something. It was something. Austin Butler is absolutely wonderful as Elvis. Like, even if you don't like Elvis, just see this movie for Austin Butler's performance, because he's absolutely wonderful in this. Like, the way he acts, the way he sings, the way he moves, his mannerism, it's outstanding. And his acting is so good, and I think that Austin Butler could become the biggest star of Hollywood. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happened, because he's wonderful in this movie. He really is, and wow. Again, he doesn't look like Elvis exactly, because nobody does, but his acting, his mannerism, everything just works so well, and I really do hope that Austin Butler will get nominated for the Academy Award, because wow, this is an Academy Award winning performance for sure, because it's so good. Like, it's, oh my God, I was just so happy with Austin Butler's performance as Elvis. It was truly amazing, and if you don't believe me, go see the movie, because you will love Austin Butler and what he did, because again, wonderful performance by him, and I was blown away by how great he really can be, like, Austin, such a great actor, and I hope that he's gonna become a star after this. And the awesome makeup work on Austin Butler is outstanding, especially when we see Elvis in his like late 30s and early 40s. Elvis really looked weird in his early 40s. He looked fat, and his face was all, it was just looking weird. Like, let's be honest, like he did not look like he's 42. He looked like he was 60, you know? And so they did an amazing job on Austin Butler's makeup, and especially when we see older Elvis, he looks much more like him. And like wow, the makeup on this is absolutely wonderful, and this movie really deserves maybe even an Oscar nomination for makeup and VFX, because what they were able to do with Austin Butler and his transformation into Elvis, it's wonderful. And also all the costumes in the movie, you know, they are all just really good looking, and you can just see that some people gave it their all to do like an amazing costume for this performance or this performance. Wow, it's awesome. So overall, the story of this movie is just so awesome. And also, I want to talk about the last scene of the movie, which is the performance of Unchained Melody from 1977. I was blown away by that also. Like, Baz Luhrmann, thank you so much for doing such an amazing movie, by the way. But the last scene, it's Unchained Melody, that famous and infamous performance from 1977. And we see Austin Butler's Elvis. He's singing, and he has all the prosthetics. He looks like Elvis. He looks bloated. He looks like Elvis at his worst, like Elvis did, you know, back in 77. And we see this magical transition from Elvis, from Austin Butler's Elvis to real Elvis. And this is something that I really want to thank to Austin Butler, to Austin Butler and also Baz Luhrmann for doing this. Because we transition from Austin Butler's Elvis to the real Elvis. And that's one of the most wonderful moments in this movie. Easily. It's magical. Because the way it happens, you don't expect that to happen, right? Because you're watching the movie, you got Austin Butler's Elvis, and he's, singing Unchained Melody, and then, the Coca-Cola cups are everywhere. He looks awful. He looks like he's dying. And then, pow. And we snap, we cut, and we see real Elvis. We see that real Elvis performance from 77 of Unchained Melody. And it's absolutely wonderful, and it's such an amazing moment in this movie that I was just like, this is so cool. This is so cool. I'm so happy that they did this. Truly, because Elvis is starring in an Elvis movie. Wow. That was absolutely wonderfully done, and I am so happy that this was in the movie. Now, let's get into the music of this movie, because there's a lot to talk about. Okay, so the music of this movie. So first of all, we obviously hear all of Elvis's classics. Jailhouse Rock, Suspicious Minds, everything, So that's there, and it sounds amazing. I actually saw the movie in IMAX, and I gotta tell you, every time any song was, playing, I was like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. Anyway, what I enjoyed about this, about the music in the movie also, was that Baz Luhrmann mixed the music of yesterday with music of today. So in the movie you will hear a lot of modern rap music, or just a lot of modern music in general, and that was so fresh, and it felt amazing how music of yesterday connects with music of today. That was done so well, and again, Baz Luhrmann, thank you so much for doing that. Like, this guy is talented. Also, there are some covers of Elvis's songs. For example, Can't Help Falling in Love. There's a cover of that, and it's in the movie, and it works really well, and in that particular scene, and it's absolutely awesome. I also want to talk about the controversy, because I read online, I read that on YouTube and stuff like that, and I saw that on YouTube where some people are saying that Elvis was just stealing black music, and that he was a fraud or whatever, and that he was a racist, and that's BS. Okay. First of all, Elvis grew up poor, okay? He wasn't a rich white boy. He grew up poor, He grew up in a poor black neighborhood. His family wasn't rich. And so in that, when he was growing up in that black neighborhood, he obviously got inspired with black music, And so it was an authentic experience for him. It wasn't artificial. So he didn't steal black music. And he had many, he was friends with many black musicians at the time, And he also wasn't racist, because he did multiple songs in the 60s that got him into troubles, Songs like If I Can Dream or In the Ghetto. He was singing them very proudly, and they were, anti-racist, and they had a really strong message at the time. And so saying that Elvis was racist is also false, So I just wanted to talk about this, because it just, I don't know, like some people are stupid with their comments and stuff like that. So I just wanted to say this. But yeah, the music in this movie works. It's amazing. When you hear it, especially in like IMAX or like Dolby theaters, wow, like it sounds absolutely amazing. Now let's get into the conclusion for Elvis.
When things are too dangerous to say, sing.
So Elvis, now, this movie may be a little too long. Maybe this movie is, sometimes a bit too over the top. But I loved it. It is widely entertaining movie with moments of greatness, sadness, and happiness. It is a movie made with passion and love. And thank you so much, Butler, for making a movie about the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis Presley. I highly recommend you guys to seeing this movie. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button, like the video, it will help me out a lot. So thank you so much for doing that. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and bye.